up in northern Indiana, I learned many lessons about how people made choices. From the large Amish community that chose to forego their cars and electricity, to the tireless farmers and factory workers who supported their families on modest incomes, I learned how resources were limited and that people made sacrifices. When I was 4, my dad placed a piece of paper on my wall that read, "A penny saved is a penny earned." I couldn't yet read, and even if I did, I wouldn't have understood what that line meant. But for as young as I could remember, my dad taught me the importance of managing money, saving, and investing. These childhood experiences stayed with me as I became older and ventured to places beyond Indiana. That there were people who had more comfortable lives and people who had much greater struggles. I realized after taking my first economics class at a local college in my senior year of high school that economics studies the choices people make and the resulting lives that they live, and that truly fascinated me. Often when asked by friends and acquaintances about what I do, the typical responses after hearing that I teach economics are either, "I took an economics class in college and loved it," or "I took an economics class in college and I'm glad I never had to take another one again." When I teach, I always keep in mind that many of my students are learning economics for the first time, and how they perceive my course may influence their perception of economics for a long time. The problem, of course, is reaching each and every one of my students, especially with the increasing number of ways that students learn. Since 2001, I've taught nearly 10,000 students in small classrooms, large auditoriums, and online. Each setting brings opportunities to try new techniques. As the trend in higher education moves towards more online learning components, I've realized just how critical the quality of online resources that accompany textbook are to reaching these students. It's no longer just a quality textbook at my disposal, but rather an entire learning package. In my search for a textbook, I desired a book that was written by an author who shared a similar teaching philosophy as me, one who loves teaching, has spent his or her career in the classroom, and is invested in the student's classroom experience. I found that author in Gerald Stone, a lifelong teacher, and his textbook, CoreEconomics. I liked how this book covered the core chapters that nearly all instructors teach. Additional material was kept to a minimum. This had the benefit of allowing me to vary the topics covered toward the end of each term, without feeling that my students were paying for a bunch of chapters that were never taught in class. And my students appreciated the fact that the book was much less expensive. As an instructor, I feel that with CoreEconomics, I can devote more time to enriching the learning experience of my students.